two damn phones. Babylons can't crack the code.
Welcome to B-MoneyTrading. Give me a quick update before I get to bed. So if we look today, I was hoping to finish up over 2%, and it performed a lot better than I'd expected. I know with elections being yesterday that the probability the market would be showing bullish signs today were very likely, but I did not expect for it to make the moves that it did. I think part of it was, and they talked about in the news about Jeff Sessions stepping down as AG, Attorney General. So the new one they believe that's going to come in is more inclined to legalize marijuana. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but there's going to be less resistance towards it going through the process for whatever states that want to do so and whatnot. So with that said, I think that's partly why you saw a big jump in the marijuana stocks. Anyhow, so I ended up finishing the day up 7.13%, so a little over 7% for the day. So I blew away the goal of making over 2%. So that puts me up for the day $124.07 up for the day. And I expect there's going to be some pullback tomorrow. I was debating on putting some stop losses on some of these, and maybe even just half the shares, and if it hits it, then buying them back at a lower price, because I still believe that they still haven't hit their full potential yet. So I'm debating on whether to sell, put stop losses on half of them, and if it drops a certain percent, it'll go ahead and sell them, and then buying back the other half at a lower price. And anyhow, so with that said, that puts me up for the week $177.71, exactly a week from today, and that's a little over 10.5%. So it goes to show that it's possible growing a small account and actually making decent returns. It's just basically why I've had so much success is that I've waited for certain opportunities to come. I've waited to find good deals where there was low risk, that I wasn't risking a whole lot, and I had potential to pay out, fairly decent, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. And even if you look back in some of the earlier videos, I took a loss on AMD. And I ended up coming back, and if I would have held, if I shoulda, coulda, woulda, the deal was it hit the point that I wasn't willing to lose any more on it, and that's why I got out. And then it ended up turning around like the next day and coming back up. But I still think even if I would have held on, I think would be down on that trade, because I got a really horrible entry price on it, and so my average was really high. I think it was like $23 or something, and so I just went ahead and took the loss on that. And then the other day I sold on USO, and I sold that, and then I was still short like $65 because I was wanting to buy a share of Apple. It was on Monday that I bought that share of Apple, because Friday it came out with earnings, didn't meet expectations, and so it sold off. And then going into Monday, it continued to sell off. And so then I got in on Apple, and on that the USO trade, oil, I took a little over $5 loss, and I was able to do that because I believe that I could make up that loss in this trade and then some. And as you can see, that's happened. I bought in, my average was $200.51. I got one share, making up close to 10%, a little over 10% of my portfolio. And I'm up. I've made that loss back, and I still believe we may see a pullback tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd actually be surprised if there was not a pullback tomorrow. And then it'll continue to run up. I think the market overall, not just that individual stock. And so as you can see, I'm up, really surprised about being up so much today. Basically, every stock that I'm in profit. Some more than others. Like this one, it's about $1.50. Almost 2%, a little under. Not much, but I took small share size for that reason, so that I wouldn't get shaken out of the trade. This I'm only up about 0.5%, 43 cents. It's not a whole lot. Basically, when I got in, I think the earnings came out and it had a pretty bad sell-off, but it's making it back now. And I only have 3 shares, so I was able to withstand the being down on it, and wasn't weighing my whole account down real bad. This I'm only up $2. It doesn't make up a whole lot of my portfolio, a little over 5% of my portfolio in this, but I'm up on the trade. But I see a lot of potential for that stock. I believe it's way undervalued for even still. I think it's still way undervalued. This I see a lot more potential for it. I'm up on it quite a bit, but I still believe that it's still got a lot more to go. I would expect to see a pullback in this stock or ETF tomorrow, and this is what I'm kind of debating on, selling half of my position and then buying back at a cheaper price. But you never know, it could just keep going and there might not be a pullback, and I may end up having to buy back in at a higher price. That's the risk that you run. And so I may just hold on to it and not sell half. We'll just see how it performs in the morning and then throughout the day. And then Friday, I plan on adding to my account and, maybe add to that position another share. It's already making up a quarter of my account, and I'm okay with that, but I don't want it making up much more than that. So in order for me to have it not make up much more than that, then I could buy 1 share, and then with the rest of the money that I add to my account, I need to invest it into something else, or just keep it in cash until I can find another opportunity, or if one of these is still at a good price level, such as MU, I think is still at a decent price to buy in at. And then CGC, it had a big boom, up a little bit on it, about $20, we'll just round it, and it's making up about 17.5% of my portfolio. And then we got Apple, which we just looked at earlier. It's up about $10 on it, close to it, almost 5%, and it's making up a little over 10%. And the deal is like I keep it iterating. I took such small share size that it's not stomping me out of the trades to where I can hold. And even if I'm making $5 profit off of it, or $10, I know it's not a whole lot, but you have to keep in mind I have a small account. Carvana, this is one of the ones I saw a lot of potential on this one as well. The only thing that I wish I would have done on this one was take at least 1 more, if not 2 more shares on this. But hindsight's always 20/20, and still to be up this much on just 2 shares of the stock is really good. And so, and if you look back, it did have some volatility. It hadn't been too volatile today until towards the end of the market. Then we see this big shot up. But prior to that, it's kind of just hanging around the same area, same range. Keep going because it's already getting longer and longer. ACB had $7.51, I believe is my average. $7.52. 22 shares, and it's making up close to 10% of my account. I'm up on it a little over 7.5%, which is about $12.50. And that one's gonna be a little bit longer term trade. I think the wheat stocks as well as TQQ in well, there's quite a few that I think are gonna be a little bit longer term trades than I anticipated, but it's just there's so much opportunity for growth in it, and the chance to get in at the price that I don't think comes along very often, and so I would think that TQQ, CGC, Apple, Carvana, and Aurora Cannabis would be the ones that, and even IBM, IQ. These three up here, I don't think will be that long term of a trade, and these end up being a little bit longer than I anticipated, but because I got it at such a good price, if anything, I may add on to them. I don't know what, I really just have to look at the market, look at charts, and see what's going on, get a better perspective on the market and where we're headed. So on this one, only 2 shares, and I'm up almost 1.5%, $3.38. And I know you're thinking like that's not a whole lot, but I mean, this is a small account. I don't have a whole lot invested into some of these trades, and the deal is I was still, you don't think it's a whole lot, but it adds up, and you can see, to be up today what I am with just these small share size on all these companies, and they're good, decent quality companies. They're not cheap penny stocks. And so that's one of the things that I focus on, and I would encourage new traders to focus on, and to focus on the percentage and not so much the dollar amount, because as as the account grows, 2% of $1,000. I don't even feel like doing the math right now. I think it's like $20 or something like that, and then 2% of $2,000 is like $40, something like that. And so as it grows, then if you continue to hit 2% on an average regular basis throughout the week, then that dollar amount continues to go up of whatever 2% of whatever your account value is. And so just focus on hitting the percentages, and the money will come along with it. It goes hand in hand. So with that said, I want to try to get to bed, because I was going to try and sleep in a little bit tomorrow, since I'm only going off of like 4.5 hours of sleep right now. But it takes what it takes. I'll say this and then start to shut it down. A lot of new traders are looking for that easy way, the easy money, the easy way out. They don't want to have to wait to get above the PDT rule. They want to be able to get around it somehow, and it ends up costing you more money in the long run. You see a lot of these traders post on Facebook and these trading groups, and I talk about all the time, show your gains, and you won't see tomorrow them post and show your gains. For me, I try to stay humble with my wins. Today was a good day, but I also am aware that it's just one day, and one day is not going to define whether I'm a successful trader or not. So what's really going to define how successful the trader I am is 6 months from now, a year from now, as the account continue to grow, not just by the money that I've added in each week to compound, but also profits on top of that, money that I've made on top of what I've added. So there was one stock that I did sell today. It was let me pull it up real quick. Come on, man. Alright, so where is it at? This one, WHD Cactus. I ended up selling this today. Only made like $1 something off of it. It's not much, but it's better than taking a loss. It hasn't performed the way I thought it would. It did break above this line, but it's just so slow moving, and the chart, it's looking like it's starting to hit this point to where it's struggling to get over at the $38 area. So I just went ahead and sold it and used that money that I had from it. Plus, I ended up having, I think it was like $75 or something. And so what I did, I'll pull this up real quick. I meant to mention this earlier. Where is it? So you can see here 16 hours ago, I bought 2 shares at $43 per share. So when I sold that, W cactus, whatever the symbol is, I ended up having, I think it was around $75 or something like that, of free cash and buying power that wasn't invested in anything, and I wanted to add on to this position at least. I was close to having enough for 2 shares, so I went ahead and added $15 to the account, so that I was able to purchase 2 shares, so I'd have enough. And so that's what I did. I added, and it seemed to work out. Good timing. I was hoping to get in a little below 43, but I just went ahead and put a limit order, and because it was playing around with this area, and it dropped down to like 42.93, and I was still debating on whether I wanted to add $15 to get that second share or not. And so by the time I did it, it was back up above 43. It was playing around this area, and so I just went ahead and put a limit order for $43 for 2 shares, and then hopefully it would drop, and it did. It dropped, from where I was at when I put it in. I think it was at like 43.09 or something, and so it dropped and filled my order, and it even dropped a little bit below that, which I'm thinking, man, I should have waited, but hindsight's 2020. We're talking pennies on the dollar, but still on a small account, every penny matters. And really that's, I think, what defines really good successful traders is that every penny matters to them. If they can get a better entry, even if it's 10 cents, cheaper that they buy in at, it adds up over the course of time. And so, you're never gonna get that perfect entry. You might get it every once in a blue moon, but you do your best to get a good price on it. And so that's what I was able to do, is to add 2 more shares, which of course it bumped up the percentage of my portfolio of what I'm holding in it. But you can see I bought in at the 43 those 2 shares, and I think it had to be earlier this morning because I think it'll work. So it had to be right around this time, maybe sooner. I'm not sure. Anyhow, it might have been right around this area. I bought in and then it dropped down and it came back up. But anyhow, it was good timing, I think, on my part. As you can see, I was able to buy those 2 shares, and then it ended up coming up, and so just on those 2 shares, it worked out pretty good. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Those 2 shares, I bought 43, so just on those 2 shares, that's what, 664 that I'm up just on those 2 shares, so worked out pretty good. And I know it gets discouraging, but you just have to focus on the percentage, and as the account grows, then the money will grow, and so it won't be so much small profits. But I'll tell you, it's more money than I would have made just having that sit in a savings account in the bank. And so you have to keep that in mind, that to make these kind of returns, and really, to be honest, I've been very fortunate, especially this past week, for the consistency that I've been able to have. Last Friday I ended the day down 0.33, a little over a quarter of 1%. It wasn't even 0.5%. It was right between a quarter of 1.5%. So you can see that it just continues to grow, and it's just going to be a process. So I'm still trying to grow this channel. I do get a few views. I'm starting to try to put the word out there that this channel exists, and let it be well known. And this channel is not like I'm some guru and I've got the market cornered on how to trade and mastered it. It's nothing by that means. It's just taking me along the journey for entertainment and educational, as well as on my end, I'm more than happy and willing to learn from other traders that may be more advanced watching this. That's all my goal is, as far as doing this channel, is for me to progress as a trader, improve my trading as well. If it can help you, that would be awesome. But this isn't like I'm calling out this and this and this and that, and trying to day trade this and day trade that. My goal is to continue to grow the small account to get over the $25,000 requirement, so that if there are opportunities, quick opportunities, I can take advantage of them. But more or less, I'm trying to trade conservatively, look for good opportunities with low risk, with good payout. And so I think I've done pretty good so far to this point since I started this channel. Consistently, making money, and then each week, and sometimes during the week I'll add a little bit of money. It just depends on what's going on with the market and where I'm at financially. But as with like Robinhood, you can add money, but it's not gonna make any of this right here change. Like that, it's still gonna be based on what your stock has actually done. So I could add $100, and it's not gonna show that I'm up $200 for the day. It's only going to show whatever the stocks have done and have grown. Now my buying power will change, of course. How much is in my account will change. If I added $100 on top of this today, then it would be 1944.01. But this would still be the same, if that makes sense to you. That just by me adding money is not going to change the percent of growth that's in my account. Because it's doing it based on what the stocks did, not what I did, not me adding money into the account. And so, with that said, try and get up early tomorrow, be up for market open, which means I need to go ahead and shut this down and get to bed. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to growing this channel and getting to know some of y'all, and hear some comments, some questions, and hopefully y'all can see some things that I can improve on, some suggestions, and we can make it a two-way road, apply these things to our trading, and improve as traders and grow our accounts, so that we don't make the common mistakes that new traders make. And for the new traders out there, I hope that you learn from this channel that the best way to get over the PDT rule is just to simply be patient, put in the work and time and effort and studying, and just staying committed, consistent, and determined, and that it is possible. It does take time and patience, but if you find for me, find trading like this, that it's sustainable over a course of period, in a long course of time, that it's showing consistent profitable results. And that's what we're wanting to do What good is day trading if I'm up $1,000 one day and then I'm down 1,500 the next, and then 500 the next, and then up 300, and this is consistent, low risk, and that's really the name of the game is managing your risk and being able to hold on to your profits and not give them back. I expect tomorrow that this is going to drop, and I would be surprised if it doesn't, especially with how well the market did today, that it's going to need a little cool off, a little pullback, and then it'll come back up. And so this is just a matter of what I want to do as far as if I want to sell half or hold on to it all. And then Friday I'll add to the account. It does look like if it stays around this area, it looks like it is a possibility that I will hit my goal of hitting 2,000 Friday. Of course, I'm going to add anywhere from $100 to $200 after everything is taken care of as far as financial responsibilities, and I put money back in my personal savings, and all that, and paying bills that I'll add as I see fit, and continue to trade responsibly and effectively and patiently. And so with that said, I'll see y'all in the morning. Good night.